Football Manager content is changing, but for better or for worse. If you clicked on this video, you are probably someone like me who consumes a lot of Football Manager content on YouTube, on Twitch, and every other platform. In today's video, I want to discuss the topics around Football Manager content. The old style versus the new style, what works, what doesn't, and how maybe the new game might change how Football Manager content is made forever. If this is your first impression of me and this is the first video you've watched, hello, my name is Big Robbo 14, and my style of content is a more immersive, fun, loud, energetic style of Football Manager content, which I know is not very popular in the Football Manager scene. But before we get into the different types of content that we've seen over the last 10 years on Football Manager, I want you boys right now to leave a comment below actually answering my question in the title. Is content changing for better or for worse? Are you a viewer of Football Manager from a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago? What changes have you seen that you've liked, disliked? I'd be very intrigued as an up-and-coming creator in the Football Manager space. I really want to know what the viewers actually want to see. So please, in the comments below, leave your opinions on Football Manager content, what you like to watch, what you like to see. And again, if you actually dislike certain types of content, I'd also like to react and reply to what you think of that. I'm going to start with the older styles of content, your Let's Plays and your long series that you've seen on YouTube. There is so many different amazing creators in this space that I'm not got enough time today to mention. But for example, Work the Space, Lelujo, these sorts of people who've been in the Football Manager space for years and years on end. The first piece of Football Manager content that I ever actually consumed was Work the Space Part to Prem series. Now, your Part to Prem series, your Let's Plays are normally from episode 1 to sometimes up to episode 200. You see your non-leagues to legends as well from the like of Lelujo. And I just want to talk about these first. Is this content a dying breed of Football Manager now? 10 years ago, these videos of course did amazing views, and they still do amazing views. This is not me disrespecting or slagging off any fellow creators' content. But is this old style of content something that is dying out in Football Manager? We're going to talk about my style of content and how I see Football Manager content going over the next 5 years with FM26, with the new match engine and all the amazing updates that the team have promised. And it kind of completely goes against what you've seen over the last 10 years. You know, over the last 10 years, like I said, all of these creators have produced brilliant content, brilliant series with great storylines. But I think if you look over recent years, this style of Football Manager content is nowhere near as successful as it was 5-10 years ago. I think the common household content that you would assume is directly correlated to Football Manager is somebody starts somewhere, they do 100 or 200 episodes with loads of different, diversions, loads of different controversy, success, tough moments, transfer windows, and by the end of that series, which can be again 200 episodes, the likely goal is to win the Champions League, become the most successful team in that country. We have seen this trend of video now for nearly tens of years, and I think now viewership and how Football Manager is going with all the development updates, the Unity match engine which we've mentioned, people can kind of predict, when you see these series episode 1, you already know that 50 to 100 episodes down the line, what the end goal will be. That the series is not going to end until you see that end goal. Now, in my opinion, this type of, let's play type content, even across the broader span of YouTube, is something that you're seeing less and less from creators. And what you're seeing more from creators comes into my point later on about the newer style content for Football Manager. But let's face it, we all play Football Manager for a storyline. I love starting a save in the bottom leagues of England or the bottom leagues anywhere in the world, working your way up. You have players that come through at different stages that become legends in your mind. The lore is incredible. But the old style content as well, after everything negative I've just said about it, is still very much appreciated. I know firsthand as a young Football Manager creator, there is a great amount of people who have been watching content for 10-15 years that still love this style of content. These people who've been watching these creators, like I've mentioned, very loyalty, that doesn't make sense, who have been very loyal to these creators over the last 10 or 15 years and are still watching these 100 episode, 200 episode styles of content. So I 100% agree that there is still a place for your Let's Plays, your Part to Prem, your non-league to legend, because there are people that is their comfort, that is what they expect from these creators. But in my opinion, Football Manager to become a bigger game, to become, more players, more viewers, more eyes, content has got to change with the current times, which takes me brilliantly onto my point of the new style of Football Manager content, which I believe is the future of Football Manager content. And the people that do this brilliantly already are Mega Luke, Tom FM, Clates. There'll be more to mention, but these three in particular, in my opinion, are the innovators of Football Manager content and are really changing what is possible through Football Manager content creation. Because I believe personally as well that FM doesn't have to just be something that you start somewhere and finish somewhere over a long series. You can create amazing YouTube videos from 30 minutes to 2 hours longs, movies in a way, where you have a beginning and an end in the same YouTube video, and I believe this is the future of Football Manager content. Like I said, this might be the first time some of you people watching this video have ever seen me before on YouTube. I'm a 23-year-old lad. I've been watching and playing Football Manager since I was 15 years old, so nowhere near enough as some other people have been viewing and playing the game. But when I'm viewing a Football Manager video, I want a storyline from beginning to end. I want there to be twists and turns. I want there to be creativity put on the content. I feel like in some people's minds, content creation in Football Manager is limited, and people think there's a limit of what you can do with Football Manager and what the viewers allow you to do, obviously based off your analytics and the people that are watching your content. But I think with the new Football Manager game, Football Manager 2026, all of the development updates that we've been promised, the match engine, the animations, this move to Unity that is the biggest thing to ever happen to Football Manager. I think Football Manager content creators like myself should not feel limited by what Football Manager has always been. We can take the content to the next level, create better stories, create better angles, create better ideas for YouTube videos, make it as big as what you see FIFA career mode creators doing, what you just see creators in general across YouTube doing. For example, rebuilds, challenges, one-off videos. These videos, in my opinion, are the new up-and-coming breed of Football Manager content creation, and they are taking over the Football Manager YouTube space by storm. You know, your likes of Tom FM, Clates, and Mega Luke, the way that they put their video ideas into one video, they kind of make that 1 to 200 part series within a video, and I think it's brilliant. And this is the content that I like to see: energetic, fast-paced content. And I think for a new viewer base, when, you know, with Football Manager coming out as a content creator, I'm anticipating so many new eyes on the game. If you look at how people's attention spans work now, or the content that they consume regularly, it is your TikTok type content, your shorter form, your beginning and end as quick as possible, because attention spans are changing and the way that people view content is changing. And I believe the rebuilds, the challenges, and these sorts of things within Football Manager content creation are definitely the future. And with Sports Interactive, you know, promising all these updates, you know, the biggest FM release in history, we don't actually know what might be capable to be done on the game. Football Manager might become an even bigger sandbox. You know, there could be features on the new game that make a new video idea or new types of videos and ways to make Football Manager content like never before. And with the new style, like I said, with your rebuild type video, your challenge type video, you know, taking a wonder kid to the Ballon d'Or, you know, these fun ideas that where you get a beginning and an end, I think is the future of Football Manager content creation. There's a third point that I want to discuss, and if you've made it this far into the video, thank you so much. Please leave a like and also subscribe. There's going to be a lot of Football Manager content coming over the next recent months when we get trailers, you know, news drops, forums. I cannot wait to get really deep into Football Manager YouTube over the next year. But this is when it comes into my type of content and how I see myself putting my foot down in the Football Manager space. Like I said, I'm a 23-year-old lad who makes Football Manager content, and I believe a lot of the Football Manager viewer base tend to favour towards that old style of Football Manager content rather to the new style. I primarily stream on Twitch, and if you've ever watched one of my Twitch streams, you will know it's probably a lot different to the household name Twitch streams that you watch. I'm the type of person who wants to be off his chair, role-playing the game. You know, I view this game as a role-play simulation. I want to pull Profundi into my office and I want to bollock him before the next game, and I want that immersive role-play content to come across well on YouTube as well. I think a lot of the younger audience now, which Football Manager are now trying to attend to and are trying to favour their game towards, for example with FM Mobile, with FM partnership with Netflix, there's a lot happening in Football Manager and what Sports Interactive are doing that are actually now moving towards, you know, that younger player base. I think Football Manager console is the highest percentage of Football Manager players now. I think it's 60% of Football Manager players across all devices and PC, console, iPad, iPhone, whatever you want to call it. 60% of the players are on console, and you would associate console players with a younger audience. So Football Manager have to tend to these people. This is now becoming their biggest player base. And for example, with content, I think you have to do the same. I think content has to evolve to this younger audience and create videos that are more energetic, that are more immersive, and a bit more role play. That is my style of content, and I'm very excited for the new Football Manager to see the amount of eyes. For example, the amount of people that might switch from FIFA career mode to Football Manager. There is not a world where FIFA career mode should be as big and have more players than Football Manager in the future. With the move to Unity and all of the amazing development plans, Football Manager in the next 5 years should definitely be the biggest football career game in the world. A 10-year-old should be able to play Football Manager, and a 30-year-old should be able to play Football Manager. And of course, the game now, text heavy, very info heavy, it's very hard to get into. I personally believe that Sports Interactive as a studio, if this this is the player base from 10-year-old on this side to 30-year-old on this side, I think they want to favour it more to this side, your teenager to young to mid-20s, you know, player base. And I just want to see Football Manager content creation not be limited. I want to see people to be able to do whatever they want within Football Manager. Because like I said, in the olden days, or, you know, 5 to 10 years ago, it was very much, you know, Let's Plays. You had Dr. Benji's Salford save and his Thames save. You've had Work the Space with his Part to Prem saves. You've had Lelujo with the non-league to legends, which I believe are brilliant content, and I am not disrespecting what them guys did in the scene, because they are very successful creators, more successful than me. But I just wanted to make a video today to discuss how Football Manager content might change, and in your opinion watching, it might be for better, or in someone else's opinion watching, it might be for worse. And like I said at the start of the video, please leave a comment on how you see Football Manager content changing. Do you agree with me where it should be more fun concepts, one-off concepts, challenges, rebuilds, very energetic and role-play type content? Or do you believe that there is still a viewer base and a player base for your Part to Prem, non-league to legend, your Let's Plays for Football Manager? And just to round it all off, I want to say that I think any version of Football Manager content is amazing. I'm just here to try and get a general consensus. Oh, sorry if you can hear sirens, I live in Salford. I'm just here to get a general opinion across, a discussion point about Football Manager content creation, as it would help myself to know going into the new game what a lot of people that have decided to click on this video today actually believe is their favoured way of watching Football Manager content. But like I said, boys, if you are somebody that is watching me for the first time off the back of this video, my name is Big Robbo 14. There's going to be a lot of FM26 content to come on the channel, obviously scheduled to release when we don't actually know when that is yet, but hopefully it is this year. I also do stream on Twitch. Twitch is my baby, really. YouTube is a space that I'm trying to move into, but my Twitch streams, you know, we make them as fun, as immersive, as roleplay as possible. We get the chat involved. We do a lot of fun things over on Twitch. So if you're watching this YouTube video as well and you are somebody who watches Twitch content and you're looking to get into Football Manager Twitch content, I'd really appreciate if you went over, dropped a follow and jumped into the streams. We stream pretty much daily. But like I said, boys, please leave your comments below on your opinion on this video and on this discussion point. Thank you so much for watching. FM26 is going to be amazing for not only this channel but for every content creator. And final point, again, there is no disrespect to any creators with any opinions I've had in this video. Everybody does an amazing job at what they do in the FM space. I'll see you on the next video around FM26. Rise FM as rise. See you on the next video.